It's time to play When Democrats Get Exposed. We gotta go out to Tampon Tim Town, y'all. What's going on, America? Welcome to Kevin's Corner, where I try to make some sense out of nonsense. Before we get into this video, I need y'all to do me a favor. Hit that like button, share my videos. Please make sure you subscribe. Make sure your notification buttons are turned on to all. Subscribe to my alternative channel, just in case YouTube give me the slip or something. You'll know how to find me. Don't forget to check me out with all the podcasts and follow me on Rumble in the Jungle. All the links are listed below. If you want to donate to my channel, feel free. Those links are below as well. Now, with no further ado,
welcome to my party, we're just getting started.
Y'all ready for a field trip to Tampon Tim Town? He's in a pickle too. Yeah, when Democrats get exposed. I think he's our last candidate of the night. Let's go ahead and see what happened to Tampon. Here we go.
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with it. Absolutely.
I think there's something wrong with Tampon Tim. No. I mean, that guy's perfectly fine.
You have a problem? You know what? I think there's something wrong with him. Anybody that would do what he did, anybody that would allow those people into the state and pay billions of dollars out to Somalia. We give billions of dollars to Somalia. It's not even a country because it doesn't function like a country. It's got a name, but it doesn't function like a country.
Yeah, Somalia doesn't function like a country. And Tampon Tim, who's supposed to be on it, like all these other Democrats who run SORN states and cities, and all of the corruption that takes place are right up under their noses, and they don't know. All the crime takes place. They have no idea how to stop it. It's going on. They have no idea. They're horrible. And most of the time they do have an idea. They just don't do anything about it because they're criminals themselves. So let's go ahead, as Trump called Tampon Tim retarded, y'all. Ooh, you know you can't say that and stuff like that. And he said he thinks something wrong with Tampon.
Yeah, there's something wrong with Waltz.
Massive fraud scheme uncovered in Minnesota found money intended for social services has been allegedly siphoned indirectly into the pockets of the Somali terrorist group Al-Shabaab. Somali immigrants in Minnesota have reportedly been abusing systems meant to help the most unfortunate among us, including the latest federally funded autism services.
Wow. Now, you know it's bad. You lack a conscience when you sitting back lying on your own kids, saying they autistic. But mama, I'm not. Shut up, boy. You're autistic, okay? If anybody asks you. What's autistic? Just say I'm autistic. To start doing something. To watch the movie Rain Man and just act like him. So now these people were out there saying their kids was autistic, and these claims jumped during the COVID, era and stuff like that. Everybody's kid became autistic. All of these Somalians, now I almost don't even blame them. Because see, this would only happen if folks already know what's happening. People over that, like Ilhan Omar, Tampon Tim, Keith Ellison, all of them out there. You're telling me nobody stopped for 1 second and say, whoa, these numbers are jumping. These guys, how much money we paying out?
The autism fraud scheme reportedly amassed $14 million through Medicare claims for services that were never provided, involving kids who never had autism.
What?
And the Somali immigrants behind this web of schemes have allegedly stolen billions from taxpayers, much of the money going back to the Somali government, where it would then end up...
Wait a minute, hold on. Did you just say... I'm going to kill that fly. Did you just say billions with a B? How do you steal billions of dollars? You got to be kidding me. Nobody... I can see, I'll never forget I found out some activity was going on with my bank account. I'm not a nickel and dimer. I'm not going in there. All right, I spent 13 cents the other day on this and that. But every once in a while I'll check it, and I start noticing it was like, $3.75. Then it was like $9 for Uber rides. And that's back in the day. It was about maybe 7 years ago. And I'm going, Uber? I didn't take no Uber. Multiple ones. Now, I went to Florida and I took it twice maybe. But I'm starting to see Uber. And they was testing me to see if I was going to catch it. It was 12 here. Oh, we got away with 12. Let's go to 19, 20. I think the biggest expense, they moved up to Walmart. Bought something for like $60. And I'm going through this and I'm going, I didn't spend no $60 in Florida at Walmart. Little stuff. But if it would have been $300 missing, I would have been calling the bank immediately like, hey, man, hold on. I just went to negative $300 is missing out of my account. Yeah, you got to be smart. Nickel and dime them, even though I caught them and they reimbursed all my money. But these folks They didn't even do that. If you would think somebody would recognize and notice $1 billion all of a sudden deficit. But let's continue and see, because I'm sure it was only one person. I'm sure the whole Somalia community wasn't benefiting off of this and taking advantage of it. Had to be just one person, and Trump's making a big to-do about it.
Hands of terrorists.
Well, billions of dollars of government welfare money is missing in the state of Minnesota.
How do we define missing?
Well, the fraud is so bad that the U.S. Attorney's Office has come out and indicated that they believe their entire government programs, where the fraudulent claims outstrip the legitimate ones.
What? So wait, the fraudulent ones out-trumped the legitimate ones. So the people who should have been getting the resources, they were going, man, this is tight, man, money tight. And yet the fraudulent ones, billions of dollars. Yeah, you couldn't catch that. You say, wait a minute, all these people are, see, that's the problem when you have a whole bunch of immigrants in your state. And you're too sensitive and hypersensitive to go, maybe they're from countries that they go, let's exploit any weaknesses. Let's take advantage of systems. We come from a place that, hey man, if you go ahead and leave your stuff out, if you ain't smart about it, if you ain't you want to be stupid, we'll take advantage of it. And you're too sensitive, you're too hypersensitive to say, wait a minute, who are all these people that all this money's going to versus all these people? What's the difference? What is the difference? All of these Somalians just collected $1 billion. But the regular citizens are what, 500,000 million, maybe somewhere like that. Do they outnumber the regular citizens? Just getting, I don't understand. And man, they must have a high population of autistic kids up there. Now you would think this would be enough for any leader to say that's a problem. Y'all are taking advantage of our kindness, and you're making me look bad as the governor, but not Tampon.
There are cases where indictments have come down, or guilty pleas are already in to the tunes of hundreds of millions of dollars that were fraudulently obtained, filing false claims alongside doctored paperwork. And the indictments are continuing to come. And the U.S. Attorney's Office has made very clear that this is a network of fraud.
I caught him. I got the fly, y'all. I just straight Mr. Miyagi'd the fly. He's right down there. Dead. He's dead. That ain't a gnat. That's a fly. Let me go ahead and wipe my hand off. Yeah, after I killed the fly. Oh, yeah. Right now. Where's Danielson? That's what I want to know. Where's Danielson? Man, caught that fly. Man, huh? He pushed it, man. But anyway, so now let's get back to Tampon Tim about to get exposed.
Fraud schemes stacked upon fraud schemes, and that while the true dollar figure in terms of stolen funds at this point isn't quite clear, it's safe to say that we're talking about billions of dollars.
Billions.
Some of the things that you lay out, including one group called Feeding the Future, that went from getting $3.4 million in 2019 to $200 million.
Whoa, you see that jump? 3 point something to 200 million? And it didn't send off no red flags? Nothing?
2 years later. They grew faster than NVIDIA. How did nobody see that? Or is it that people in the government and those who are supposed to be the watchdogs, like Tim Waltz, like Keith Ellison, the Attorney General, there just weren't looking?
Yeah, they just weren't looking. Or they knew it was happening, but, they're okay because, they want to make sure that the immigrants are well taken care of and they're happy and they're voting for them. Now, you see this nonsense? And we are supposed to trust these people to be good stewards of our money and stuff. Tampon Tim would have been a tragedy if he would have won with Kamala Harris. That dude, the guy that wanted tampons in the bathroom. So now, how did that get past you? Nobody said, hey, Captain, we got us a red flag. Apparently, that they did have red flags. And when they went to Tampon Tim, he buried it. Yeah, apparently there were whistleblowers and he was saying, I don't want to hear it.
I think it's safe to say that there was a real unwillingness or inability among Democratic state officials in Minnesota to recognize some pretty obvious alarm bells here. Yeah. All across these programs, claims were skyrocketing, absolutely spiraling out of control over a short period of time. And the reality is that the Somali community, which is where these large-scale fraud rings have been concentrated within this population.
scale fraud claims in the Somalia community. Now, I'm not above calling out facts. Just like you see a large group of, a large proportion of riots, attacks, and jumping people and taking over streets and running into black folks. Other day, we watched videos up there in Chicago and folks beating up people and the kids cussing. And I mean, I got to own it. I got to be like, man, that right there is something that takes place in the black culture. Burns me up to have to admit it. I'm not going to sit back. Oh, you can't be pointing that out because, that's racist. That's the no, I'm going to know. We see it on TV. I mean, we see it. They make videos of themselves doing these things. Okay. I'm not proud of it. I wish it wasn't, but it is. Same thing here. I'm not going to be hypersensitive and say, well, let's not go ahead. Well, if the shoe fits, where? Apparently, the fraud cases are concentrated in the Somalia community. And it's enough of them to where you don't think that if this was a gig, they were all benefiting off of, they wouldn't tell their other friends. You telling me to be like, look, you got to do, dude, I mean, we are banking. We are making all kind of money off it. Dude, all you got to do is tell your, and they probably thinking, okay, we got Tampon Tim running the state. We got all these Democrats that are hypersensitive towards, the immigrant community, always demonizing everybody else when they bring any attention to, wait a minute, do these people really love us? Are these people really here to, better our communities? Do these people really believe in our values? Do these people, shut up. And you don't want to bring nothing negative towards them. So maybe you just overlooked it. Did you overlook it, Tampon?
In the state, it is a sizable voting bloc. It is a voting bloc you have to win if you're going to win political office in Minneapolis.
Not a white man in there. You telling me with all of this white supremacy, the white man should have been all over this. He should have been like, let's go ahead and take advantage of this. This is only things that white people can do. Yeah, we ain't gonna let nobody else know about it. It's just us. Yeah, because of our white privilege. Looks like we got Somalia privilege.
And so I think that was likely a incentive here that made some people not want to look too closely at what's been going on.
Just like they overlook all of the other crimes by legal immigrants because they don't want to bring attention to it. See, that's why they let them out of prison, let them out in the street, they let them out the back doors, they drop charges and all of that stuff. Yeah, they don't want to bring attention to the legal immigration problem that Trump now done got wind of because of all of this fraud. Now, let's see what Tampon Tim has to say about it, because Trump just called Tampon Tim retarded. So let's see what he got to say about that.
I want to start with the tragic shooting of the two National Guard service members. In the aftermath of the shooting, as you know, President Trump has responded by vowing to crack down on refugees, including from countries beyond Afghanistan, specifically targeting the Somali community in your home state. He also described you using a slur widely regarded as derogatory toward people with intellectual disabilities. I want to read for you what he said, Governor, and get your reaction on the other side. He said, hundreds of thousands of refugees from Somalia are completely taking over the once great state of Minnesota. Somalian gangs are roving the streets looking for prey as our wonderful people stay locked in their apartments and houses, hoping against hope they'll be left alone. The seriously blank governor of Minnesota.
Oh, don't blank it out. I mean, it's still a word in the English language, okay? Y'all try to act like we've outgrown it. Oh, my God, you say the same. It's equal to saying the N-word. Well, no, he said retarded. That's what he said. But let's go ahead, because apparently Tampon Tim with that big, fat Homer Simpson head is going to take offense to that.
Tim Waltz does nothing, either through fear, incompetence, or both. What is your response to President Trump, Governor?
Look, Donald Trump insulting me is a badge of honor for me, but I think we all know, as both as an educator for a couple decades and as a parent, using that term is just so damaging. It's hurtful. We have fought 3 decades to get.
Yeah. We want to focus on that right there. We don't want to focus on the fraud that he's talking about, right? That's what it is. We don't want to focus on you also calling Donald Trump Nazi and all of those things. Those are hurtful words. I don't know about you. I wouldn't like to be called a Nazi. I wouldn't like that. But But of course, we're about to expose Tampon Tim.
Get this out of our schools. Kids know better than to use it. But look, this is what Donald Trump has done. Trump has done. He's normalized this type of hateful behavior and this type of language. Well, maybe it's time for us to be a little meaner. And when it's adult like Donald Trump, you bully the shit out of him back. What we should demonize is people like Elon Musk.
Although I will say this, the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying.
No.
Just saying. There will be news sometime.
No, Tampon, no. Hey, you telling me you're a hypocrite? No, not Tampon. Who's getting up here talking about the kids and all this stuff and Donald Trump's a bully. And every chance you would get when you're in front of your audience, you'll go ahead and say something stupid. But now all of a sudden he's talking about Donald Trump's a bully. He shouldn't have said this and all of that stuff.
So you know, there will be news.
Well, speaking of the Somali community, President Trump is targeting them and your state in part. He's citing fraud as the reason for his crackdown.
Fraud is the reason for the crackdown, okay? Fraud.
Dozens of people of East African descent have been charged, convicted, and sentenced for stealing more than $1 billion in taxpayer money.
Billion!
Government programs.
How do you explain that? How in the world, you as the leader of that state, explain them ripping you off and the people, the taxpayers off for $1 billion? Good grief. I mean, and they're not even Democrats. I mean, I know, Mayor Conehead ripped off the taxpayers for $1 billion, I mean, y'all always rip off the taxpayers for billions for your illegal immigrants, but they bypassed y'all. They straight bypassed y'all and went straight and said, we gonna get our billions on our own. Thank you, but no thanks. We don't need y'all money. We gonna go ahead and beat the system. So $1 billion. Now, he's supposed to be operating like a CEO of a company. If I come to you and you're supposed to be over the whole company, and I say, hey, Homer Simpson head, we're missing $1 billion. Somebody's been embezzling $1 billion. That ain't like 50 cents, $500. We realize somebody, $1 billion is missing. Can you explain that? How did that get past you? We're a very gracious, kind, company, and people come to our company and they're going to take advantage. No, your job is to stop them from taking advantage of it, Tampon, which obviously you didn't do.
During COVID, as you know, Governor, that is more than Minnesota spends each year to run its Department of Corrections. So I want to give you a chance to respond to this.
Yeah, respond to that.
Do you take responsibility for failing to stop this fraud in your state?
No.
Well, certainly I take responsibility for putting people in jail.
Oh, but you don't take responsibility of stopping this, preventing it so they wouldn't have had to even go to jail. If you would have had an airtight system, instead of just throwing out money because it ain't yours, it's taxpayers' dollars, and we're very generous. I mean, it was almost too much temptation for him. It was like Gizmo who ate my bacon the other day. Yeah, I set Gizmo up for failure, y'all. I let him get up on the bed for a little bit, and I was eating breakfast, and I left 3 pieces of bacon on my plate. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to go back and eat that bacon in a minute. And I set that bacon on a little shelf that's real close to the bed. So I'm rolling over. I'm laying there, chilling for a second. Gizmo jumps over on the other side of me. I'm thinking Gizmo's laying down. Gizmo went into straight ninja mode. He was so still and quiet. All that bacon. And I'm laying there. I rolled over and my bacon was gone. Gizmo laying there looking at me like, what? I kicked his tail off that bed so quick. Man, I was so mad. It took me about 4 or 5 days to get over it. I was like, this dude violated me. He ate my bacon against my will. I ain't giving the bacon. He took it. But then I had to stop and think, wait a minute. I left that bacon wide open. Left it right there. You know how tempting bacon is? I can't even promise you that I wouldn't sneak somebody's bacon. That's aroma be just, yeah. If you a dog, you're like, man, this is bacon. Man, they use bacon in all of our treats because they know we love the taste of bacon. And this man left 3 strips laying out there. That was all me. That was all me. I left the bacon out there. But you know what? It was too much temptation for Gizmo to resist that bacon. They left all that money out there. They got that weak system. And you telling me these people, oh, wow, wait, we can just beat that. All we got to do is just say our kids are autistic and we get money? Of course, you take advantage of the system. When we grew up, even as a black family, my mom had Social Security. She had welfare. She had food stamps. Everything that they allotted us legally, my mom wouldn't took advantage of it. So these people, of course, took advantage of it because you got a loose system, and you got a whole bunch of illegal immigrants in your state that we're now finding out that maybe they don't love our country like they claim they do.
Governors don't get to just talk theoretically. We have to solve problems. And I will note, it's not just Somalis. Minnesota is a generous state. Minnesota is a prosperous state, a well-run state. We're AAA bond rated, but that attracts criminals.
So tell us who else besides the Somalis that was getting those billions of dollars by lying about their kids being autistic. You think they were sharing that information with the white man? You think they were, you know what? This is going to stay within the Somali community so we don't let other people find out and then somebody might leak this. Let's keep it amongst ourselves. That's what was happening. But Tampon is saying it's not just the Somalis. Then tell us who the other groups of people. That's what I want to know. Sounds to me, as I looked at those pictures, those were all Somalians. But here you are. It's not because you got to say that. You got to say that so it doesn't look racist. So when Trump say, we're going to deport these people for ripping us off. Okay, we're going to, take back their citizenship and bounce them up out of here. We're going to revoke it. Now, all of a sudden, it's not just Somalis. Then tell us who else.
Those people are going to jail. We're doing everything we can. But to demonize an entire community on the actions of a few, it's lazy. And as you heard Senator Kelly say, this president has cut a lot of inspector generals. He's cut programs that could help us tackle this on. So we'll take it on. We'll put folks in jail. I don't care what your nationality is. I don't care what your religion is, your color. If you're committing crimes, these are programs that were meant to serve students with autism, to housing, and to making sure people had enough to eat. There's a reason Minnesota ranks as the top. Lowest childhood poverty, best place for children to live. People are taking advantage of that. They're going to prison. That is totally disconnected with demonizing an entire group of people who came here fleeing civil war and created a vibrant community that...
Yep, they sure are vibrant. Came here fleeing civil war, just like Ilhan Omar, who came here and beat our system and hate our country. Yeah, took advantage of our kindness. Came here from civil war, just like the man from Afghanistan who came here, and he even worked with our CIA. And then what did he do? So you come from civil war, you come to a country that is rich compared to where you came from, very generous, and got stupid leaders like you. And then that bacon was sitting right out there. And they like, you smell that bacon? You smell that bacon? Boy, I tell you, it's tough not to go ahead and take a bite. That's exactly what happened. But now all of a sudden, it's you're going to demonize a group of people. Well, apparently, they were all Somalians.
It makes Minnesota and this country better. But that's Donald Trump. Deflect, demonize, come up with no solutions.
No solutions? Well, there's one. There's a solution. No. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. Go with it. Go with it. Oh, no, wait a minute. If you really want, go limp. Go limp. Drop your weight. Drop the weight. There it is. Let them drag the legs. Don't try now. Yeah. See, you got to get up under that arm. Like when you grab the kids. See, and you're going to listen, and then you walk while they on their tiptoes. See, you got them up under that arm. You get your tail over. You going to, wait. On the tiptoes. Yeah, now he on the tiptoes. That's the solution. There you go. Oh, you rob from me. You steal from us. You got to go. You got to go. Oh, yeah, man. Now, wait a minute. Don't be dropping the weight now. Look at him. He playing dead.
We're going to get knocked down.
Yep. Everybody get out the way.
Fix anything on fraud.
That's not going to fix it. No, that'll fix it. That will fix it. Yep. If you're found guilty of that, okay. So, yeah, we can't get the money back, but what we can do is send your butt right back to Somalia. That war-torn country. That country that y'all seem to love, especially Ilhan Omar. She loves it, but won't go back there. She won't take her white devil husband back to Somalia and live there. Isn't that odd? Isn't that odd? But you want to come over here, demonize our country, Ilhan, take advantage of our kindness, become a powerful woman in the dang on house, and make millions of dollars off of us while talking about how horrible our country is. And this dummy allowed everybody else to do it.
My God, there's a big difference between fraud and corruption is something he knows about.
Well, look at that. Trump rages over seriously retarded government, Tim Waltz, in furious Thanksgiving message. Tim is hurt. His feelings hurt, y'all. His feelings hurt. Watch this. Watch this, y'all.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking.
Captain speaking.
That same post you mentioned Tim Waltz, and you called him what many Americans do find an offensive word, retarded. Do you stand by that claim of calling Tim Waltz retarded?
Yeah, I think there's something wrong with him. Absolutely, sure.
You don't think
You have a problem with it? You know what? I think there's something wrong with him. Anybody that would do what he did, anybody that would allow those people into a state and pay billions of dollars out to Somalia. We give billions of dollars to Somalia. It's not even a country because it doesn't function like a country. It's got a name, but it doesn't function like a country. Yeah, there's something wrong with Waltz.
So here we got a guy on Thanksgiving where we spent time with our families. We ate, we played Yahtzee, we cheered for football or whatever. This guy is apparently in a room ranting about everything else. This is not normal behavior.
Not normal behavior.
It is not healthy. And presidents throughout...
Is it not normal behavior to look at all of the problems around our country that mostly are Democrat related and to hear about them ripping you off for $1 billion and you didn't catch it? Yeah, that's something that'll keep me up at night if I'm the president. That's something that I would spit my turkey out. Yeah, did you hear about Tim Waltz? The Somalians beating for $1 billion. What? What? That dude's retarded. See? Yeah, that'll ruin Thanksgiving. $1 billion. But here he is. That's not normal. That's not, no, what's not normal is you guys don't catch them beating you for $1 billion.
Out time have released a couple things. They've released their tax returns, not Donald Trump, and they've released their medical records, not Donald Trump. And look.
Now you know where you got to go to. Trump's special. Trump right there suffering from mental decline.
MRI is one thing, but I think what's most concerning about this is, as your viewers out there are listening, has anyone in the history of the world ever have an MRI assigned to them and have no idea what it was for, as he says? So look, it's clear the president's fading physically. I think the mental capacity, again, ranting, crazily at midnight on Thanksgiving.
You know that's what he do, tampon. I mean, Trump can be in the middle of a high stakes meeting and he'll stop to tweet something to embarrass somebody. Give me a minute. Tampon Tim is a jerk. This and this. All right, now back to the negotiations. You know that's what he do, tampon. I mean, this man be tweeting in the middle of the night. But here you are, for him to do that, for him to embarrass me and expose me for being just like Homer Simpson, the real one. But so Tampon thinks he thinks Trump is something's wrong with him. But we're about to go ahead and expose who really got something wrong with him.
About everything else, there's reasons for us to be concerned. This is a guy that randomly says the airspace over Venezuela is closed. He's ruminating on if you could win a nuclear war. Look, this is a serious position. It's the most powerful position in the world. And we have someone at midnight throwing around slurs that demonize our children.
Demonize our children. He wasn't talking about children. He's talking about you, who's governing your state like a child. There's no excuse for you not catching $1 billion of taxpayers' dollars being ripped off and then won't admit that you're responsible. That I'm responsible for putting them in jail. But let's go ahead because, see, now we're going to have to go ahead and look at some evidence of who really got something wrong with it.
At the same time, he's not solving any of the problems.
There's something wrong with Waltz.
Like what? Yep. J.D. Vance and Donald Trump's just weird. Who claps like that as a man? Huh? I need you to bring your elbows out, tampon. Let's see. Wait a minute. Here we go. There we go. I need this. Put some bass in that clap. You got too much treble. Okay, too much treble. I wouldn't trust a man with treble in his clap. Okay, bass. Okay, bring the elbows out. But look, watch this gesture. This is a normal gesture. Zing! There you go. Look at that wrist. Oh, that mug is at a 90-degree angle. Broke that wrist. Boom. Ah, man. Zing! Oh, yeah. But something's wrong with Trump. I got to see the zing again.
Solving any of the problems.
There's something wrong with
I'm sorry. Clap. Zing! Wait a minute. Okay. But there's something wrong with Trump. Here we go. Yeah.
Oh, give it to me. Give me my
moment.
What? What is he talking about? Oh, give it to me. Give me that sweet, that funk. Say what? Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give me that sweet, funky. Oh, yeah, man. Give it to me. What is this? What is this?
Gay.
Oh, boy. Man, I'm going to tell you right now. You know how embarrassing it would have been if he would have became the vice president? That would have encouraged every country to invade us. I mean, Creepy was weak and all, but this dude, man, boy, not a masculine bone in his body as he's talking trash against Trump. What is this? What is that? What is that? Socially, it's just awkward. What is this? Relax. Bring the shoulders down, okay? Yeah, everybody right now is being extended because of you. Yeah, if I'm the guy next to you, I'm like, okay, bring it down. Yeah, you're up too high, bring it down. But no, not him. Yep. Oh, and then the worst, signing stuff to have little boys have tampons in the bathroom. But nothing wrong with that. It's Trump stand up late tweeting. It's Trump stand up late tweeting. That's what it is. Yeah. That's not weird.
Yeah, there's something wrong with Waltz.
It's weird. It's weird.
It is weird, Trump. Yeah, that guy is weird, but there's something wrong with you though, right? No, he needs to be getting his head examined. Somebody needs to be going ahead and trying to do an MRI on that big fat Homer Simpson head. They be like, all right, the x-ray machine isn't big enough. We didn't know his skull was this thick. Boy, bring in the bigger one. Yeah, to go ahead and x-ray that brain, then get inside of it like, all right, the skull's big, but there's nothing in there. There's nothing in there. Now, hello. Yeah, so tampon should be sitting on somebody's couch when they're going, okay, tampon, we noticed that you signed a bill to put tampons in the little boys' restroom. How did you think little boys could use tampons again? Well, I just think that if they believe deep down in their heart that they can use a tampon, then they can wish it so. They could wish it so. Yeah, about that. We're wondering, have you ever had a mental breakdown or anything like that? He needs to be examined. I want him to get on TV and explain how a little boy can use a tampon. Where do you stick it, Tim? Where do you stick the tampon? I think that would expose who's really crazy or not. Anybody who would do something or say something or sign a bill for that stupidity, you're the one with the problem, okay? It's not Trump.